The air inside the stone tower was thick with the scent of burning oil and blood. Shadows danced across the damp walls as torches flickered, casting eerie shapes in the dimly lit chamber. Riyan moved swiftly, his footsteps light as a whisper. His body ached from wounds earned in battle, but his spirit burned with fury and love. At the center of the chamber, Zehra hung in iron chains. Her wrists were raw from struggle, her once white dress stained with dust and crimson. But her spirit was unbroken. When she saw Riyan, her eyes filled with something stronger than hope, defiance. "You came for me," she whispered. Riyan touched her face gently, but before he could free her, a deep, mocking laugh filled the room. General Khaldor stood in the doorway. He was larger than Riyan had imagined, draped in blackened steel armor, his face marked by years of war. His blood-red cloak swayed as he stepped forward. "You think you can steal what is mine?" Khaldor sneered. Riyan turned, his twin blades gleaming in the firelight. "She was never yours." Khaldor chuckled, shaking his head. "Then come, hunter. Let's end this." The room exploded with the clash of steel. Khaldor's strikes were like thunder, shaking the very walls. Riyan dodged, weaving through the air like a phantom, his twin blades slashing with deadly precision. Their swords met again, a violent, ringing crash. Sparks erupted as metal bit into metal. Khaldor swung his massive sword in a brutal arc, aiming to split Riyan in two. But Riyan ducked, rolling beneath the strike. He countered with a swift slash to Khaldor's ribs, but the warlord's armor was too thick. With a roar, Khaldor kicked Riyan in the chest. Riyan crashed into a pillar. Pain exploded in his ribs, but he forced himself to stand. Zehra, still chained, cried out. "Riyan, move!" Just in time, Khaldor's blade sliced through the air where Riyan had been a moment before, embedding itself into the stone. Riyan's breath came in sharp gasps. He was wounded. Bleeding. Tired. But he still had one final trick. Riyan's eyes flicked upward. The massive iron chandelier. It hung above Khaldor, suspended by a single, ancient rope. In a flash, Riyan leaped onto the fallen pillar. Riyan slashed the rope with one clean stroke. The world seemed to slow. The chandelier plummeted. Khaldor's eyes widened in shock as the massive iron structure came crashing down upon him, the weight of it shattering the stone beneath him. Dust and fire filled the air. The tower trembled from the impact. When the dust settled, Khaldor lay beneath the wreckage, his sword still clutched in his fingers. His chest heaved one last time, then he was still. The tyrant was dead. Riyan staggered to Zehra and slashed the chains from her wrists. Zehra collapsed into his arms, but there was no time for rest. "We have to go," he said. Together, they fled into the mountains, their escape masked by the storm rolling in from the east. Thunder growled through the valleys, as if the heavens themselves raged with the dying breath of the warlord. By dawn, word had spread, the tyrant had fallen. The villagers, once afraid, now rose in rebellion. Armed with swords, bows, and the fury of the oppressed, they ambushed Khaldor's remaining troops. They fought in the forests, on the cliffs, by the rivers. By sunset, the war was over. Khaldor's forces were defeated. The villagers celebrated their newfound freedom, their spirits lifted by the courage of Riyan and Zehra. The legend of the Misty Warrior spread far and wide, inspiring tales of bravery and defiance. Epilogue: the legend lives on even now. When the mist rolls through the valleys, travelers say they can hear the distant echo of swords clashing. And in the ruins of the old tower, the great chandelier remains where it fell, a silent monument to the day a lone warrior faced an army and won. The Misty Warrior's name will never be forgotten. His bravery and love for Zehra became a symbol of hope and resistance. The story of Riyan and Zehra continues to be told, a testament to the power of courage and the enduring spirit of those who fight for freedom.